Hello again, guys, and welcome back to race 2 from the final round of season 2 of the Midnight Oil Racing League's GT7 Championship. Obviously, this is going off of the grid results from qualifying. So Wayne G lines up on pole once again with Thomas in second place. Mawson starts in third. Ice Chan in fourth. Dan Bailey in fifth. Blood Diamond in sixth. Clutch starts in seventh. Asbo in eighth. Pickle in ninth. And Vexed will start in 10th place. So without further ado, let's get into this final race of the season. I look like Wayne G dead on the line there. Mawson getting a really good getaway, almost getting the jump off the start. It looks like he's going to take the position away from Thomas, and he has moved up into second place. So Wayne G is going to lead the field up the hill for the first time in this race. I think we had a few instances coming in to the end of the Kemmel Straight on this first lap. You can see the cars very close indeed. Gaggle of cars behind as well. Three-wide battle into this right-hander at the end of the Kemmel Straight. On there, Dan Bailey has to take the off-road. And then we see a little concertina here as well. And then Asbo off into the barrier. So we're going to have a quick look at this one. Where was Asbo? So here we go, coming down the start-finish. Vexed on the outside of this three-wide battle coming into the right-hander. There's also a little Winston ahead, which we'll have a look at as well. I mean, like Asbo going into the back of Clutch and then just sort of spun it around. Maybe Vex collected him a tiny bit there. I don't think it was actually Vex's fault. I think he probably didn't have to wait, but he did, showing great sportsmanship. So we'll have a look from Vex's point of view as well. Here we are into this turn. So you can see Ice Chand, I think, and Blood Diamond ahead, having a slight coming together through the left-hander, which has slowed Chand down. Clutch has in effect gone into the back of Chand. Chand being dead on track. And then Asbo into the back of Clutch. And I think that was a tiny little touch there from Vex, but I don't think that could be helped really, but Vexed slows down to wait for him anyway. And then what was the other one? So there was Blood Diamond and Chand, maybe? Oh, the bloody camera. Oh yeah, so there was a tiny bit of a concertina once again. Sort of four cars kind of involved there. I think Ice Chand waiting for Dan Bailey. And in effect, that was what slowed him down, and Clutch went into the back of him. But the race continues. So Mawson still in the lead of the race at the minute in the Ford GT. What can he do here on the racing softs for the first stint? In fact, I think the top three opting for the racing softs. So yeah, we got Wayne G on racing softs in the RX Vision. Thomas actually on the racing medium, so Thomas didn't go for the racing softs. Will he take them towards the end? And then Blood Diamond not too far behind it in fourth place. Wayne G starting to put the pressure onto Mawson. He's going to be able to set up a move in the coming couple of turns. Will he have a look into the bus stop? Not quite close enough on that occasion. Mawson goes deep though on the exit. That has allowed Wayne G to come alongside. Will he get a better exit along the start finish? On the approach to La Source, is he close enough to go for a move up the inside? Thinks better of it. We've got Dan Bailey and Ice Chand. Chand getting the move in the background there. Dan Bailey looks a little bit slow through La Source, under pressure from Pickle now. Blood Diamond trying his utmost to get onto the back of the top three. We've got Ice Chan there in 5th, Dan Bailey 6th, Pickle in 7th. Moulton still leading the race. Wendy G still putting the pressure on in the RX Vision. Looks for the move up the inside now into the right-hander. Not quite close enough again. Moulton retains the lead. But Wendy G does look quick in that RX Vision this evening around Spa. It looks like Thomas actually not having to worry too much. I think maybe he's got enough points to secure the championship. He just has to have a good finish in this race and he should surely take the crown. Oh, the Moulton goes deep again. Moulton, will he lose position now to Wendy G? Wendy G has a look up the inside as he goes deep once again, comes alongside. Moulton gets slapped with half a second's penalty. I'm not sure where he got that. It must have been for that last, I think it was the left-hander, wasn't it, where he drifted out wide. And now Thomas has a look up the inside. If he doesn't get it done now, he will surely get the move once Moulton has to serve that penalty. And Moulton stays ahead for the minute. Huge battle going on here for 2nd place. Will Thomas have a look up the inside into the bus stop? Thinks better of it. As I say, I think... Oh, and Blood Diamond all the way down to 7th now. What's happened to Blood? He must have had a moment somewhere. Finds himself behind Pickle now. Really nails the apex through the source, which gives him the momentum along the start finish to be able to get back on the approach now to Arouge, to get onto the back of Pickle. Will he be able to go for a move at the end of the Kemmel Straight? Pulls out, thinks about it. Oh, and there is a tiny bit of contact there, so Blood has to slow down and wait for Pickle. That is unlucky. Just catching him out ever so slightly in the braking zone there. Great sportsmanship from Jason. But that has meant they've lost that gap now to Dan Bailey in 5th place. Dan Bailey trying to get onto the back of Ice Chan. Ice Chan, who is back up to 4th place now. Dan Bailey's there in 5th, and then we have Pickle and Blood Diamond 6th and 7th, and you can just see Vexed in the background there. Vexed has started to catch him. He's got a second's worth of penalty. He is bringing Asbo along as well. Asbo in the BRZ. We've not seen much of Asbo apart from that early incident with him and Vexed. Then we have Clutch somehow down in 10th place now. He must have had a moment somewhere as well. So Asbo, will he be able to get onto the back of Vex once he serves that penalty? It's going to be around the next couple of corners. We'll see Vex penalty bar start to fill up. And you can see it there. Oh, Asbo with a bit of a moment there on the exit of that right-hander. Momentarily has to dip it down into a lower gear, keeps the car moving, and he is definitely gaining on Vex now. That second's worth of penalty really slowing Vex momentum. Still not quite close enough to go for a move. Can he continue to close the gap? Looks like Vex maybe getting the better exit out the final turn. That's given him a little bit of breathing space once again. Blood Diamond still well on the back of Pickle. Can he get the move done? Pickle in the GR Supra. And Moulton is now down to 3rd. So Thomas finally got past him. We'll check back in with the top 3 in just a sec. So this is where we saw Blood look for the move before, pulls out along the inside once again. He is going to have the inside for the right-hander, but he'll turn into Pickles for the left. And actually Blood, oh no, he loses the rear ever so slightly. There's a bit of contact there between the two cars. They managed to keep it going. Blood Diamond with that half a second. That's going to allow Pickle to get a move for free, surely, as Blood goes a little bit deep again through the right-hander. Pickle manages to come back. On the approach now to Pouhon. Oh, Pickle goes a little bit deep there onto the curb. That slowed him down a lot, and you can see Vexed well onto the back of him now in the background. Is Pickle going to lose that position to Vexed as well? He's lost the position to Jason, but Jason has that half a second's penalty. That's going to bring him back into the clutches of 7th and 8th place. Vexed putting the pressure on. Will he be able to go for a move into the bus stop? Wayne G is now into the pits. That has released Thomas. Thomas on the medium tyre. Oh no, Pickle with a bit of a moat. What happened to Pickle there? So Pickle defending to Vexed. Just dips a wheel onto the grass as he's braking. That's just unsettled the car, and he's off into the barrier. So Vex now up into 7th place. Pickle gets that car going once again, the Supra. So there's a bit of a championship battle going on between Blood and Vex at the moment as well. Vex managing to finish ahead of Blood in the first race. Blood only 1 point ahead of Vex coming into the first race. So I think Blood has to try and finish 4th or higher. So Wayne G has gone into the pits. That's released Ice Chan and Mawson. Ice is now up into 2nd place. Mawson's down to 3rd. I think there was a bit of a battle going on between these two. Mawson on some very heavily worn racing softs now. Maybe he should have gone in the previous lap. Perhaps he's taken them for a lap too long. Ice Chan managed to get past, aided by the mediums. And Thomas under no pressure at all at the moment. Dan Bailey in the background there. Dan Bailey with half a second's penalty. He went for the mediums in the first stint. Closes the gap to Mawson. Mawson's tyres really start to die a bit of a death. Oh, and Dan Bailey gets the move. Gets the move done, but he is going to have to slow down with that penalty. Oh, it's very, very close between these two. Mawson manages to somehow come back alongside, but then Dan Bailey comes back once again. And Mawson will surely be into the pits. And there he goes. So Dan Bailey is released up into 3rd place now. Got a bit of a gap to Ice Chan ahead in 2nd. Ice Chan has just come through the source. He's on the approach to Eau Rouge. Blood Diamond now up into 4th on the racing hards. can just see Dan Bailey coming to the end of the Kennel Straight. Has he got enough pace on the hards to be able to close the gap and keep the gap back to Vexed? Vexed, who looks like he's lost a few temps to Jason ahead now on warm mediums. Pickle also still out on them mediums. Wayne G out on the first set of mediums now. He used the softs in the first stint. Clutch is now up to 8th. I think he's also in his original set of tyres. Mawson now in 9th after his pit stop. And Asbo has also served his first pit stop on the first set of mediums now for Asbo. Just coming up to 14 minutes into this 25-minute race. So Thomas, where will Thomas decide to pit? Will he take on the softs or will he go for the hards? He doesn't seem to have run the softs so far this season. I don't think he's really liked him too much on that Porsche. Actually picks up half a second's penalty there. I'm not entirely sure what it was for. Obviously for track limits somewhere. So Dan Bailey now into the pits. Blood Diamond is up into 3rd place. Chan still somewhere ahead. Vexed up into 4th. Still yet to serve a pit stop, as is Pickle. So Wayne G is going to make up a few positions once the guys ahead of him start to pit, or start to head to the pits. What can Clutch do? Can he start to close that gap to Winnie G ahead? You can see on the track map there, it is fairly sizable. I think having a few moments here and there around Spa did Clutch. Actually putting in a personal best sector. Mawson on that fresh set of mediums. What can he do here? How many places can he make up? Dan Bailey now in 9th. Opted for the racing hards. Oh, and Clutch is into the barrier. That's unlucky, Clutch. So Mawson moves through up into 7th place. I'm not sure what happened there. I think he maybe just drifted a little bit wide and dipped a wheel off track and it sent the car around. Dan Bailey gets the move done as well. So Dan Bailey up into 8th. Oh, Clutch. He's had another moment. That's unlucky, dude. Oh, no. Just struggling to get that car going now. Aided by the dirty tyres, and Asbo will move through up into 9th place. Oh, Clutch is going to be absolutely kicking himself. I'm sure he's going to head to the pits at the end of this lap. Chuck on a fresh set of softs. Or whatever compound he hasn't used. Blood Diamond and Pickle both into the pits. Vexed up into 3rd place. So we now have Thomas in 1st. Chand is in 2nd. Vexed is up to 3rd. Wenny G now in 4th. Blood Diamond in the pits in 5th. So Mawson actually going to move up into 5th place. And there he goes. Will Dan Bailey come through as well? And he does. So Dan Bailey up into 6th place. So we now have Pickle in 7th. In fact, no, Blood Diamond looks like he's going to come out of the pits ahead of Dan Bailey. It's going to be very close between these two cars. And he does actually come out ahead of Dan Bailey, but Dan Bailey is going to have the momentum coming along the Kemmel Straight. Will he be able to close the distance before the end of the straight? Blood was on the hards in the first stint. He's now on a set of racing softs. What can Dan Bailey do to close the gap? The top 3 still yet to pit. A Pickle on the back of Asbo now. Pickle on the fresh set of softs. Asbo on the mediums, worn set of mediums. So Thomas is now into the pit. Surely Chand is going to follow. Will Chand favour track position? Though he is in. Pickle looking to try and set a move up on Asbo in the GR Supra. What can he do against the BRZ? The BRZ actually looked pretty nippy around Spa. Wayne G up into 3rd place now. Will he get past the top 2? And it looks like he has. Can Pickle get the move done now? Up the inside into the left-hander. Asbo tries to hold it around the outside. I think it's just Blanchimont, isn't it? And maybe coming back. Has a look up the inside into the bus stop. Wasn't quite alongside. Vexed is now into the pits. So Pickle getting that move sewn up. So Dan Bailey up to 6th. We've got Blood Diamond there in 5th. Chand is in 4th. Mawson not too far back ahead of him in 3rd. Oh, Mawson, big moment there from Mawson. That's going to allow Ice Chand to get the move done. Mawson tries to come back. That was just a big slide, wasn't it, through the chicane. That was unlucky. On the worn set of mediums, they're a few laps old now. Chand on fresh racing softs. Will surely be able to pull a bit of a gap now over the Ford GT. But Mawson's still very close, so if Chand has a moment, he should be there to pick up the pieces. How much of a gap does Thomas have to close to Wayne G ahead in 1st place? There we go, there's Wayne G. So Thomas not miles behind. I think he's around 5 or 6 seconds at this stage. Wayne G on the worn set of mediums. He used the softs in the first stint, so one of the first people into the pits. Thomas now on a set of softs. They're a lap or 2 old. But he should have the pace advantage. Ice Chand has pulled out a bit of a gap now over Mawson, back in 4th place. Mawson with that unlucky moment there, just at the end of the Kemmel into that chicane, or on the exit of that chicane. Looked like maybe the tyres or the wheels just locked up a little bit under braking. So Blood Diamond up to 5th on a fairly worn set of softs now. He's actually got the fastest lap as well, 2:20.171. Are we going to see that change? So Dan Bailey now in 6th. He's got a nice bit of breathing space over Vext back in 7th. Vext only just cresting the brow of the hill onto the Kemmel. And then we have Pickle. Pickle can still see Vext ahead. Has he got enough left in them tyres to be able to close the gap? Oh, Asbo. That BRZ just looks very slidey, doesn't it? He's been sliding a little bit here and there, but it has actually looked fairly quick around here as well. In some sectors. Kind of we don't often see get used enough. Clutch, I think Clutch is just going to write this one off as he picks up a second's worth of penalty just to insult to injury. It's unlucky Clutch, just having a bit of an unlucky race, maybe trying to get to grips with Spa, needs to do a few more laps. It'll come eventually, dude. So Wayne G. Wayne G still with a gap back to Thomas, but that is closing very rapidly. Has he got enough left in their mediums to keep the advantage and take the win here in the second race of the evening, the final race of the season? We'll have a rundown through the standings at the end as well, so you can find out where everyone finished and who gets crowned Season 2 champion. So this is indeed the final lap now. So we'll have a look and see if we can see any noticeable battles on track. Moulson looks like he has managed to pull a bit of time back to Chand ahead in 3rd. Has he got enough left on them tyres to be able to get the move done though? We'll have to wait and see. Blood Diamond unable to close the gap to Moulson. Dan Bailey having a bit of a lonely race as well. Vext. Can he close the gap to Dan Bailey? It looks like he is catching him, but it's going to be enough. Pickle there in 8th. Asbo finishes in 9th place. Clutch will take 10th. So Wayne G still in the lead of the race, but look how close Thomas is now. Thomas, can he close that gap? We've only got a few more turns for him to get it done. And he's got the fastest lap as well now, 2:19.324, so I think he's done just enough to be able to take the championship here. I don't think he has to finish in 1st place now. But it's very close as they come through the final turn. But it looks like Wayne G will take the checkered flag and the win here. GG's Wayne. Thomas takes 2nd place, but he does take the championship. GG Thomas. Chand holds on to that 3rd slot on the podium. That was unlucky from Moulson. I think maybe he just pitted a lap too late. So Chand takes 3rd in the end. Moulson takes 4th. Blood Diamond finishes in 5th. Dan Bailey. Dan Bailey takes 6th. Vext will take 7th. Pickle brings the Super home in 8th place, and then as I say, we had Asbo in 9th and Clutch in 10th place. Well, that was it for Season 2, guys. This is a final rundown through the standings. So Thomas took the win and the championship. He finished on 442 points. Too Fast took second place. He finished on 428. We had Ice Chan finishing in third on 402. Dan Bailey finished in fourth on 302. Mawson was fifth with 294. We had Vexed in sixth with 253 points. Actually managing to take Blood Diamond there. Pushed him down to seventh. Blood Diamond finished on 250 points. Clutch was eighth with 192. Silent finished in ninth with 185. That's Pickle. We had Asbo in 10th with 181. Dirty Dubs finished in 11th with 26, and Jerry Smiles only picking up 6 points. Well, that was it, guys, for Season 2. We'll be back again shortly with Season 3, so we'll see you then. I've been your boy Vex. This has been the Midnight Oils Racing League, and I'll see you next time. Good night.